Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Deadly Archives with me, Hannah, and Maria.
Hello.
And today, Maria is gonna tell us all a little bit about the Zodiac killer killings.
Yep,
yeah.
I am.
So exciting. Let's get. Eventually, I'll lead something, but
yeah,
I currently have 3 research papers to write.
No, we have been busy.
So, but I'll get there.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
Yeah, thank you so much for listening, everyone. Like, everyone that has supported us. We have been very nervous about this. And we're just very thankful for for all the messages. I actually got a bunch of messages. Saying,
I got a few too. So
that's nice.
That's fun. It's fun. It's intimidating. It was intimidating. It's still a little intimidating.
Yeah.
Because it's so new, but...
I know, but hopefully we get the hang of it.
Yeah.
After a while.
Well, yeah, and once you start, it's just kind of like...
I feel like I'm always just talking to you all the time.
Yeah, it's just 2 friends talking, and we talk about this stuff anyway.
Yeah.
So it's like, why not record it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
But, yeah, and if it's your first time here, welcome. We basically talk about creepy shit that we see on the internet, and we share with people, so...
Yeah. Let's
get into it. So, like Hannah said, we are going over... What are you doing? Oh, there's a really big piece of hair. Oh no! Ew. Is it mine or is it yours?
I don't think it
could have been Amy's.
You have chin length hair. I don't think it's yours.
Yeah, that. Okay, so today we're gonna go over the Zodiac killer case and history, like Hannah was telling us about. And then I at least thought it was a very confusing and like sinister story, cause like he wanted to be known as a killer. It's not like he was trying to like cover for himself so he could keep killing. It's like,
I know that's a thing with a lot of murderers, serial killers. Like they want to, they don't do it for a reason other than to be known and to get their name out there.
Yeah.
Like
he really wanted his name out there though. Like, he was like, this is how I did it.
Yeah, he didn't want to be known, but he wanted what he did to be known.
Yeah.
And it's real sketch.
Ooh.
Spoopy.
Yeah. So the Zodiac Killer, if no one heard of him, he was responsible for several murders in the San Francisco Bay Area during the late 1960s. But, get this, he was actually never caught. And his case reopened on 2021. I'm going to talk about that later.
Yeah.
But
So he could still be alive.
He could.
He could have died.
Yeah. There are 40 FBI agents currently working on it. And they think they found out his identity, but they're not.
But they don't want to release it.
Yeah, until they're sure.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Crazy. I just spoiled everything, but it's fine.
It's fine.
So, we don't know who he is or what he actually looks like. We only have a sketch. But, which I know they can be pretty accurate, actually.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we, like, for now, the public has no idea who he is.
Right.
He was known for not being quiet about his crimes. Again, like, since his first murder in 1968, he admitted to it, gave details that only him could know. Only the person that killed that person could know. Yeah, and the last record of his murder was around 1969. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. And the killer usually taunted the police because he kept sending them different coded letters and to the police and the local paper, actually, because he wanted to be posted on the first page.
Yeah, he wanted everybody to know because, like, if the police knew that, like, that it was a game to him, that, like, it was all just because he wanted publicity, they wouldn't have, like, released all this.
Yeah, absolutely.
So... He was like, we gotta...
It's crazy that they actually released it. Like,
he's like, we gotta send it everywhere.
Yeah, because sometimes people have the concept of, like, if someone dangerous asks something, usually don't do it because they will ask something again.
Right, because they know you're just gonna comply.
Yeah. But they complied to him. I guess because he was telling that he was gonna murder people. He also
sent it to the news, too.
Yeah.
So, he didn't really give him a choice.
Yeah, the stuff that he wrote down is crazy.
Yeah, creepy.
Yeah. He was directly connected to at least 5 killings, but he told everyone he killed 37 people. So, for me, I'm still trying to wrap around my head of, like, him calling the police and be like, hey, what's up? I murdered 37 people.
Yeah.
Sit with that. Bye. and they still, like, couldn't track anything.
Yeah,
or, like,
that's what like, I mean, I guess I kind of get
It was the 1960s,
the letters maybe not being able to, because I think they were still kind of newly looking into this whole fingerprint. I mean, they had, like, dusts and stuff they could use, but they didn't have, like, great technology.
Mm-hmm. And it's crazy because it was around, all his killings happened, like, around the same area.
In the same area. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. But then he, like, called them and was literally like, hey, yo, what's up?
His first victims in 1968, they have a surveillance video of that. And they still don't know who he is. I watched that earlier today when we were in dance.
Are you ever gonna sleep again?
I'm not sure. It was actually kind of disturbing, so don't look it up if you don't want to see it. So
I want to see it now.
Yeah, they're like, I'll show you later. They're like bodies and stuff.
I
know, yeah, it's kind of disgusting, but
that's horrible.
Yeah, so let's talk about it. So the first incident was in December 20th of 1968. The police estimate that the time of the attack was around 11:15 p.m. at a gravel parking area at Lake Herman Road on the eastern outskirts of Vallejo, California. And unfortunately, his first two victims were Betty Lou Jensen and David Arthur Ferrade. And she was only 16 years old at the time.
I was going to say, were they the teens in the car? Okay,
yep.
Okay.
Yep, and David was 17 at the time. Betty was born in Colorado and later moved to California. And she attended Hogan High School. And her parents were Virginia... Oh my gosh, I hope I'm pronouncing this right. Virginia Blenderman and Vern Jason. And David's parents were Thomas and Jen LaTourette Forday. And David went to Vallejo High School. And sadly, they were found... Well, she was found. Because he was still actually alive by the time that they found him.
But he passed, though? Or
yes,
survived?
Both of them died. They were found lying outside of their bullet-prepped car. David was shot once in the head, point-blank range, and died in a couple minutes. And Betty was shot 5 times in the back, and she died instantly.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. The Zodiac killer, was using a .22 caliber semi-automatic pistol.
Mm-hmm.
Like, who's getting a hand on that? Where's the receipt for that?
Right.
You know, it's 1960s, like
it's
late
not like
1960s.
Today when, like, you buy a gun and it's, like, in the system. Like, they can do background checks and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, it's not.
Like,
they don't,
Yeah. The ammunition was actually Winchester's Western Super X copper-coated long rifle.
Oh.
Yeah, fancy, right?
As we're sitting in my gun room.
Yeah, exactly. I'm, like, creeped out. If this never gets posted and the police finds this recording, you know where I died.
Maria pissed me off. That's horrible.
I know, right? Oh
I take it back. I take it back.
I feel bad. Okay. So after they investigated and autopsy both bodies post-mortem, there was no indication of any type of robbery or sexual assault in either of the victims. There was nothing taken from the car, nothing taken from them.
So the sole purpose of killing them was killing them for publicity.
Yeah, the police is actually very confused why...
Because there was no motive.
Yeah, why someone would just shoot at the car.
And this is the first one, so they didn't have
their
fun little games yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Damn.
So there were no witness to the crime. There were several victims around the area, but the one who walked into the crime scene was Stella Borges. And of course she reported to the police. And whenever the police came, Jensen, which is Betty, it's her last name, she was found dead in the scene, again, with 5 gunshots wound, and she was dead already. But Forday, even though he was just shot in the head, he was still alive, and an ambulance got him got him close to the hospital, but unfortunately he died on the way there. So both of them.
He was point blank in the back of the head.
Mm-hmm.
That's like.
Yeah.
How did he? Wow.
Yeah.
Did it go the entire way through?
I don't know.
Oh.
It didn't show. I read the autopsy report, but that's all he says.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like at point blank it would have. That's like. I don't know. That's like 3-4 feet or less away.
Yeah. I mean,
So,
they were
like,
inside the car still.
And he was outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it's still possible.
Yeah.
Like, somebody could be inside the front seat of their car
Yeah.
and, like, sitting away from me, and I could still be considered point blank.
Yeah.
But...
I mean, he was still... Well, so what happened is that they were in a date,
Mm-hmm.
Betty and David, and they were in David's station wagon.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And the police thinks... and it wasn't a couple of the letters too, the details. We don't have access to the letters. We just have access to a couple quotes from it. But they said that the killer was actually trying to get them out of the car, and then that's why he was firing into the vehicle to force them out. So Betty opened her door to the passenger seat, and she went out running.
And that's how she got shot in the back.
Exactly.
Because she was running away.
Yeah. And David...
That was his goal.
Yeah. And David was right after her, but he only shot him once, which was in the head. Which I get because he's so close to the car, and as she's running, he's trying to shoot her, and as he's like...
oh, shit, she's going bang, bang, bang.
Yeah.
Him, bang.
Yeah.
Oh, that's horrible.
I know.
Kids.
Yeah, kids. Literal kids. And I think he only shot him once, because I'm guessing that he fell.
Right, point blank in the head, usually... Probably 9 times out of 10 is an instant kill.
And also he had fired 6 shots. Like, that's, you can hear that.
He's got to get out of there.
Yeah. But get this, this is so sad. It's one of those circumstances, that crime that we were listening to, that like the girl that she wasn't supposed to be working at Domino's, and she got there by an accident.
And then
So this was Betsy's first date ever, because she had never been allowed to be on dates before.
And this I can't imagine, like, the guilt that the parents would... Not that they should feel guilty at all. Yeah. There's no way they could have, like, known that was coming. Not. But, like, the guilt, like, you're not allowed to date. And then, like, okay, I suppose you're at the age where you should maybe be allowed to go out and do dates and
then
do things for yourself. And the very first time, she's brutally murdered.
Yeah.
Shot 4 times.
5.
5?
5. Yeah. Yeah, I can only imagine what her parents went through, right? It's crazy. But with that, the police, they had no idea at that point why this happened. There were no suspects.
Out of nowhere.
Even with the surveillance video, there's nothing. Like, there's nothing that they could suspect. Some people claim that David was, like, involved with drugs and stuff, and other people, like, were coming for him. But this estimated happened around 11:15 p.m., right? Mm-hmm. So at 12:48 a.m. that night, the police station received a call that read, "I wish to report a double murdered. If you go 1 mile East Columbus Parkway to a public park, you will find the kids in a brown car. They have been shot with a 9mm Luger, and I also killed those kids last year. Goodbye." Isn't that so confusing?
What kids last year?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. Isn't that, like, everything that he speaks of is, like, encrypted, or he has, like,
right.
It's a game for him.
Yeah.
It's a game for him, and that's...
Also, he said he killed them with a 9mm Luger, but
it's a .22.
It was a 22mm.
So I wonder if he was talking about rifle. Other kids that they found later. And,
like, he was planning this.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Because he didn't report... So he killed them that night, mm-hmm. but I think he's reporting a different... Like,
murder
different
going
people.
To happen.
Yeah. like, different people that he already killed. Like, that because he didn't report this crime. He didn't report Betsy and David. Like, Stella found them. Remember that. Okay. But at that night where they found him and everything, he called the police station to be like,
okay,
I killed the other people a year ago. Like, yeah.
I hate how, like, it's all cryptic.
I hate that that's a game for him.
Yeah.
That he plays like it's like...
Killing anything should never be a game for anybody.
Yeah.
But then killing people, kids...
Yeah.
Well,
twice, right? Because he killed them on the... Oh my gosh, I'm trying to find the date. On December 20th, and then that same day, well, I guess it was December 21, he called again and was like, actually, no, I killed some other kids, too. So I'm just gonna let you deal and be confused with this case, and I'll play around your head later, and it's crazy. So, the police also have no idea who this guy is, no idea who's killing people. And on August 1st, 1969, which is, like, a couple months later, maybe, like, yeah. How many months later?
9 months?
9 months later, yeah.
Because it's the one was in December.
End of December.
January, February, March, April, May, June.
Yeah.
8 months.
8 months. Yeah. Of 1969, the San Francisco Examiner, they received from the Times Herald, so it's like a journal or a newspaper. 2 of them received a handwritten letter in an envelope without a return address that said, and I quote, "Dear editor, I am the killer of 2 teenagers last Christmas at Lake Ermine," which is Betsy and David. Betty and David. That was it.
It just said, I am the killer.
Yeah. That's it.
Did they publish it first or turn it over to police?
So,
they published it.
So that's, like, the main thing. And then, so, wait, 1 second, I'll get to that. So the letters, they said that, and it contained multiple details from his murders that only him could have known. Like, right. No one else could have known that. Like, even Stella, even if Stella, like, saw it, which she was the one that found Betty and, David, she wouldn't have been able to know all of that, right? Like, she could have known that it was, like, a .22. Like, right. She was just looking at it.
No, she's not gonna know that.
Yeah. And not only that, he threatened to attack more people if they weren't printed in the front page of papers.
So they did print it before taking it to the police?
Yeah.
Okay. I get that he's like, I'm gonna kill more people. But also, maybe you should have taken it to the police first and let them decide what to do.
Well, they did take it to the police, but, like, they still published it. And not only that, like, they had no idea what the encrypted stuff said.
Right. They were like, you know what? Why is
actually, a teacher figured it out, but I'll talk about it later.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. But, yeah, I also think I'm a firm believer that you shouldn't, like, get orders. Yeah. Because otherwise they'll just, like...
They're just gonna keep going.
Exactly.
They're like, you listen.
Yeah. Hey, everyone, I had to pause for a little and then get back because dogs. We love them. But...
It's fine. Everything's fine.
So as we're talking, 6 months later, a couple who parked their car 4 miles away from Betty and David that we were talking, they had 1 injured and 1 killed. They're a couple, so the woman got killed and there was 1 survivor, which is the only reason why we know his sketch in the first place.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. So this other crime happened on July 5th, 1969. It was in the morning, actually. It wasn't at night.
Like still dark out morning or like?
No, like...
Oh.
Like early morning. Like 7 a.m. or something like that. Crazy, right?
Okay.
Yeah, so that was with Darlene Ferrin. She was 22 years old. And her boyfriend, Mike, oh my gosh, Magiau? I don't know. And he was 19 years old at the time. And they were both sitting in a parked car once again. Right? And very, very similar to the one that David and Betty were.
So he, like, shot through the vehicle to try to get them out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so the man, which is the killer, they approached him with a flashlight. Then after, well, that's his report. That was Mike's report.
Okay.
That the killer approached them with a flashlight and then right after fired multiple shots at them. And then he was able to kill Darlene and he really got Mike injured. But he did survive.
Is he, like, paralyzed or anything, or just had to overcome the...
No, I think he's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. That was in 1968. 1969. 1969. So that was a while ago.
Imagine living through that, though.
That, yeah.
In the same area.
And I think it's weird because I guess he, up until now, has a thing with cars. Like, shooting through cars.
Yeah.
Why? We don't know.
Are there more about this, like, kind of style? Or
there are a couple more. I mean, we only have 5 murders
confirmed
that like are directly connected to him, but he claimed to have killed
like 37
people. Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So we don't know like how much could be car related or not.
Okay.
But that gets even weirder because an hour later after the incident, the man called again.
He calls again.
Mm-hmm.
No.
The police given the location of the crime scene and saying that he was responsible for the attack. And he also was like, I also killed some people in 1968. Again.
So it was the same exact call, just fitted to this situation.
Yeah. He wants attention.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So Mike, the survivor, he was able to kind of give a description of the killer. And I guess that's like the only way we could have even gotten a sketch, which those can be like really good. I was watching a documentary on it the other day and they look very alike.
Yeah, and these I don't know what they're called officially, but
Sketches.
These sketch artists do really good.
Yeah.
Just with
and they draw multiple
descriptions
of
Yeah, so there's like an array of possibilities.
Yeah. And I mean, maybe with this description, that could be a reason why he approached cars, because Mike described him as a heavy-set white man that was around 5'8". So, like, David was the first, David and Betty, the ones that were...
killed.
Yeah, the first, like... Victims, yeah. David was 6'8". Like, there was no...
So if he would have gone and there was warning, there was a good chance that
David would have knocked him out.
Screwed his ass up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe it was because of the way that he doesn't have an advantage if he like confronts people. Yeah, because I know like Jeffrey Dahmer, like he had that comfortability of like bringing people into his house. He was also a freaking psychopath.
Yeah, but
because he was so freaking strong.
Yeah, because he was such a nice guy, like outside of his home.
Yeah, but just like maybe that could have been like
we're gonna party hardy.
I hate that. Ugh.
That show was so good though.
It was really good. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. It's gonna make you extremely uncomfortable. But yeah, so after Mike gave the description, get this, the Zodiac killer himself gave the police the remaining evidence, like, of the crime scene. Like, he sent them fingerprints, he backed up Magau's description, he, like, decoded his own cipher one of the times and, like, gave him tips and leads. Like, and still, the police was unable to track him down. And I guess he's like, that's, like, his way. He's like, I want to show you that even if I give you everything on a platter, you're still not going to be able to figure me out because I'm the shit.
Right, because he's probably a freaking genius.
I hate that.
I know.
I hate that. That makes me so uncomfortable that, like, he would do something like that. Like, it's a freaking game for him. Oh.
Yeah.
Remy just hit her face on the chair.
Poor puppy.
It's alright. She'll be okay.
There's nothing to hurt.
Yeah. And again, like, he almost sounds like he takes pride in spreading his murders on the media. Like...
Yeah, he definitely does.
Yeah. And the weird thing is that each of his letters had symbols, like, that were kind of like a circle with a cross through it. And that's why he was known as a zodiac killer, because of the symbols. And then, oh, this is so weird to even, like, think about. I'll show you a picture of one of what, like, his symbol letters looked like.
Okay.
Yeah, so, like, each of the letter has a symbol, like, it has a different symbol.
Each symbol has a different letter connected to it.
Yeah.
So okay.
And then, like, each letter is separated in 3-part ciphers. So it's just, like, this long things that are separated in 3. It's, like, kind of a Morse code type of thing.
Right, okay.
And it was very creepy. A high school teacher and his wife, they were able to figure out his cipher. And it read. So, like, the end of the cipher, they weren't able to figure out. So that's why, like, it's a little iffy. So he said, and I quote, "I like killing people because it's so much fun. It is more fun than killing wild game in the forest because man is the most dangerous animal of all. To kill something gives me the most thrilling experience. It is ever better than getting your rocks off with a girl. The best part of it is they," like THAE. "When I die, I will be reborn in paradise, and they, THEI, have killed, will become my slaves. I will not give you my name because you will try to slow, SLOI, down or atop, which would be stop, ATOP.
He messed up his own freaking...
I think it's just, like, him not being able to, like, them not being able to fully figure out.
Oh, okay.
Stop my collection of slaves for my afterlife.
What the hell? This is so creepy.
I know. And then he has, like a bunch of, like, weird letters.
Before time, the... Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Maybe, like, before the end of time or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, that's insane.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And he was like, I like killing, and I'm going to keep doing it because I want slaves to whenever I rise above,
like,
I guess.
How does someone come up with that in their head without being sadistic? Like, this man obviously was normal enough in his everyday life that he wasn't suspicious.
Yeah. I think that, like, most of the times, though, like, people that are, like, sociopaths or, like, psychopaths, they
appear to be normal.
I think they learn how to be normal because they know that's the only way that they can get by.
Yeah.
Like, they're smart enough to be like, if I don't behave like all those fucking idiots.
Right.
Oh, am I allowed to say that? I'll just say
it's fun.
I'll just write it down as, like, like, content that's PG, I guess.
Yeah,
but
it's fine.
If this wasn't PG until now, my cussing will be. So, yeah. So, it's crazy because, like, it's like, oh my gosh, I was listening to this podcast about, like, people hurting themselves, and how psychiatrists, like, see if, like, it's because of attention, it's because, like, of a deep psychological need, and, like, they map that along their body, like, if they cut on their hands or on their face or on, like, a part that appears in their body or shows instead of, like, their stomach, their inner thigh, like, it means they usually treat it as a different thing. Like, they want to hide it type of thing. And I think that he wanted to hide who he was, like, his identity, but he wanted people to be scared of him.
Right. Like, he wanted to be known in a sense, but he also didn't want to be known
to be caught, because he
to
wanted...
be caught, or, yeah.
That's insane.
He still wanted to be normal.
He also picked people who were very young
during the day. Yeah, because they've all been teenagers at this point, right?
Is that, like, the sadistic mindset of, like, I want young people...
I need young slaves in the afterlife.
Is that... I hate that. I don't like that. That makes me very uncomfortable. So, after that, there's another murder. On the evening of September 27th of 1969, he approached, once again, a young couple. Their name was Cecilia Shepard and Brian Hartnell. And they were basically just hanging out, and they were pretty far out on the lake, on the shore of Lake Beresna. That's in Napa County.
Okay.
And yeah, so the thing that happened is he was wearing a hood and a shirt bearing a circle cross symbol. Right? So, like...
zodiac symbol.
Yeah. Like, what the heck does that even mean? Like, why? I don't even know. So, he tied them up. So, he found them, tied him up, and he brutally stabbed both of them. Which is different because he shot all of his victims and they were in a car.
I mean, they were still a young couple, but they weren't in a car and they wasn't done with the gun, and it was in a different location this time.
And he was very isolated at that point, too.
Right.
So it almost sounds like the pattern could be, like, young people.
Right.
But
other than that, yeah.
And you can't roll it down to nothing at this point.
No.
Right? And then he scrawled a message for the police on their car door on the scene. So they were, like, out, but, like, their car was still there.
They were in the field. They were parked and they were out in the field.
So he wrote on their car door and then left the scene.
Do you think maybe he's a cop? What if he's a cop and that's why he knows?
No, because they didn't match his DNA with anything. If he was a cop, they would have matched his DNA with something.
Not if his DNA wasn't in the system. This is the 60s.
I feel... That could be it, too. I don't know. That's fucking weird.
There's so many possibilities. It's just...
Yeah. There is. Like, it could have been so many freaking things. Yeah. I don't know. I don't want to speculate too much because this can be a long game. But...
Yeah.
So, once again, he called the Napa Police Department to claim responsibility. And Shepard and Hornell, actually, I said they were dead, but they weren't dead. They were actually both, wait a second. They were actually both in very critical condition, but alive when the emergency services got there. But then Shepard died. So, after...
So he's leaving survivors.
Yeah. I don't think he meant to, though.
I mean, I get why one would think he didn't mean to, because that would, like, lead it more to him, but at the same time, he's looking for that recognition.
Yeah.
I feel like
the first time...
In my eyes, I feel like he's leaving survivors to, like, tell about it.
It could be, too. Yeah. And he was wearing the hoodie with his stamp on. Yeah. That definitely could be it. Like... Because he walked into the scene with a hoodie, too. So, like, they wanted him to know, like, that's the Zodiac Killer. Like, I'm gonna die. I'm scared.
That's his symbol. Like, it had been in the newspapers. Like...
That's crazy.
Shit.
Yeah. So then, 2 weeks later, that was like one of the last murders that they encountered. It was on October 11th of 1969. And he shot a 29-year-old taxi driver. His name was Paul Stein, in the San Francisco Presidio Heights neighborhood. And, like, that, once again, wasn't on his killing pattern whatsoever, because at first they thought it was a robbery. Like, they labeled it as a robbery until the San Francisco Chronicle received a letter. Once again from him, that was like, no, I actually killed him. It was me.
Was anything taken?
No.
Okay. Yeah, because
that
wasn't his motive, like, taking stuff. Like, he was killing for the game.
Yeah.
He was killing to kill.
He was killing to get slaves, apparently, in his head.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So, at least 5 other murders were, like, kind of linked, or they think it was linked to the Zodiac Killer. And that includes the 1963 shooting of Robert Domingos and Linda Edwards. That was near Santa Barbara, California. And the stabbing of a college student, her name was Cherry Jo Bates, in Riverside, California in 1966. But I was looking for it, and they didn't have a lot of information on it. I couldn't even get, like, an autopsy report, which is crazy. So, fast forward 50 years later, in 2020, COVID hitting, and then finally, code breakers from the police figure out the entire cipher and were able to decode the message, which was one of his many messages. And It says, oh my gosh, it chills down my spine when I read this, so be aware. It says, I hope you were having lots of fun and trying to catch me. That wasn't me on the TV show, which brings up a point about me. I am not afraid of the gas chamber because it will send me to a paradise all the sooner, because I now have enough slaves to work for me, where everyone else has nothing when they can reach paradise. So when they are afraid of death, I am not afraid, because I know that my new life will be an easy one in the paradise of death. Oh,
my walls are making noises.
I don't know what that was.
Anyway.
So, I hate that. He was like, I don't even care. Like, if I die in the gas chamber, like, if y'all figure out who I am, I'm not afraid of it. Like, you think I'm gonna, like I've say everything?
I've got all the slaves I need. I'm just playing at this point.
Yeah. So he's basically like, if you guys actually catch me, like, not only are you gonna make me famous forever, but you're gonna kill me, and I'm not gonna give you any fucking information. Because I'll die. And I'm not scared. Kill me, go ahead.
I'm gonna die no matter what, and I'm gonna...
Oh my gosh. He actually believes that he's going to, like, a paradise where there's, like, his slaves.
Rot in hell, man.
Probably, yeah.
I hope he's dead.
I hope. He's a fucking poor excuse for a human. I hate that.
There ain't no redemption at this point for this guy.
Are you fucking kidding me? Absolutely not.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so... in October of 2021, a team of 40... law enforcement investigators, they call themselves case speakers. They claim to have identified the Zodiac Killer. I know. I actually was just reading that yesterday, and I got very excited because I was like, good thing. Good thing we're doing this. But the FBI stated that the case was still open, and they wanted to make sure...
make a false claim. And
yeah. They have a couple suspects. I'm just not going to mention them here because, like, there's no need. Like, if we don't absolutely know for sure, we're not going to talk about it.
Right.
At least for this case. But, so the Zodiac Killer kept killing, and left frustrating evidence to the police, coded letters, like, he wrote on victims' cars, he sent blood-stained shirts to them, accounts from the survivor, like, everything, and the police was never able to find him. which drives me insane.
I don't know how this is
possible.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense in my head.
It doesn't. It's giving Dexter.
After.
Have you ever watched that show?
A couple times. But yeah, like, I mean, one single crime, maybe two going unsolved. Yeah. Like, I mean...
But keep in mind,
it's not satisfying, but it's fine.
Yeah. We only talked about, 5-6 crimes here in depth? Like...
That are, like, confirmed to be connected to him.
But he killed,
said that he killed...
37 more people.
Right.
Like,
I'm sure that there were... Yeah. Homeless people in, like, I mean, he's in...
Yeah. California. Yeah.
Yeah, he's in California. I'm sure there's homeless people that went missing off the streets, just... Yeah. Nobody realized, nobody to care about.
And the thing is that he sent proof of murders. Like, he would send blood stain of, people that died and stuff like that. But, they just never, out... That was Memmy. They just never, found the bodies or anything like that.
Yeah.
Which is, where are they?
So it's, is he just, playing this game, concerning the police more? Is he just, I don't know, taking shirts to scenes and just soaking up the blood of the people he's... No, because DNA!
DNA, exactly. Yeah.
It just, none of it makes sense to me.
No, it doesn't. And, I mean... I think that catching him is very important, but I also think that, figuring out who...
Oh my gosh. Bad dog.
Remy is being funny over here.
Go somewhere else.
I think that, figuring out who the victims are and actually advocating for them and paying respects for their families.
That's the important thing. Oh my gosh.
Because those... during those 5 crimes and those victims, their families don't know who he is and they didn't get justice, but they didn't get closure. That closure. They understand what happened and
right, they know what happened,
but they don't.
But yeah, they didn't get their justice.
Yeah, but
and then the people that were never found or properly identified or anything that he said that he killed and sent, those people had people who cared about them somewhere.
Yeah. So, all the respect for the families that were lost by this poor excuse for a human. And thank you so much for listening. If we ever figure out who he is, if the FBI actually comes out with that information, maybe we'll come back and talk about
Updates.
Hopefully they'll figure it out. It's been a year, but they're working hard. Thank you so much for listening to this point. We're on Spotify now, and that's so exciting.
It's really weird seeing
it.
Because,
I know.
I don't know, you look at it and it says Maria Simonin and Hannah Gulliver.
I know! I love it.
Wow.
Yeah, leave a comment, leave a review. It means a lot to us, especially since we're, growing a little bit. Mm-hmm. And we're very excited that you guys like listening to it. If you guys have... Especially most people that are listening to it right now actually know us, but
give us suggestions.
Yeah,
cases you want to hear about.
We love talking about them, and it's awesome. And then hopefully,
there's the other dog.
That was Sadie. And then hopefully, Hannah will be talking on the. No, it's fine. It's Sadie. We're saying goodbye. We don't need to be good sounding anymore.
They were blocked out of the room.
Yeah, they were.
They made their way in.
I know. But if you have any suggestions or any stars like that you always that's Sadie. That you always wanted to hear about and never wanted to read about, let us know. We'll do the research for it and we'll talk about it here. Yeah. So thank you so much for listening. Goodbye!